Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Right? About basically everything. And in Judges 5, verse 23, it says something that proves my point. I used to talk about Capernaum when Jesus was cursing the towns that didn't stand with him, that didn't receive him. He says, "And you, Capernaum, will you be lifted to the heavens? No, you'll go down to Hades." We see this in Judges 5, verse, it's the verse about Meroz. It should be on the screen. I believe it's verse 23, yes. "Curse Meroz," said the angel of the Lord. And Meroz is Romez, scrambled for whatever reason. "Curse its people bitterly, because they did not come to help the Lord against the mighty." Now, on the one hand, right, just like with Capernaum, God sent Jesus there. God sent his son. Can they be mad that God sent his son and then they betrayed him and didn't obey God and so on, and he starts cursing them? No. Okay, so in any nation, if I was, in Israel, if I was in, South Africa or whatever, and they didn't obey God through me, can they be mad? They should be mad at themselves. They should scramble, right, I'm still alive. They should scramble to do the right thing. So if I point out, and it saddens me to point this out, if I point out that America will be cursed if they don't scramble and obey God through me, I mean, one way or another, they're going to be cut off. The whole world's going to be cut off from God after my flesh dies. There's no way around that now. If they didn't cut me off from a fair planet to have a child in and a suitable helper, okay? It says in Genesis, it's not good for him to be alone, right? There's a Garden of Eden, there's this paradise, and he's making him a suitable helper. The opposite of that is not having a suitable helper, and they've raised hell on this planet, and they're swimming in ill-gotten gains. I'm not supposed to reproduce in that situation. No one is. And the people reproduce are making a decision to reproduce in a planet where there's no way to be righteous or just. And how could they miss that? Even if they don't know who I am, how could they miss that? When they look at the nations of the world, when they look at the history of the world, how could they miss that? Don't be distracted by propaganda narratives, right? That's the devil's Pharisee propaganda, fantasy nonsense. Look at what justice actually is. That's why one of my favorite parts in the Bible is when Jesus, as a character in the story, says, "Why don't you judge for yourselves what is right?" In Isaiah 28:17, one of my favorite scriptures, it talks about how you make righteousness and justice the plumb line and the measuring line and the plumb line, the measure. I think they put plumb line first, but I usually use the word measuring line first because it helps you understand it. It's measure. A lot of people don't understand what a plumb line is, right? But the measuring line, the measure you use when determining what to do. Is it right to shun Christ for mere conformists? No, because you're supposed to use righteousness and justice as the measuring line. That's the measuring line God uses. To use, mere worldliness as the measuring line, flesh-based desire and inclinations, right? In John 8, it makes it clear, right, that it's wrong. And in Isaiah, right, relying on the flesh instead of the Spirit of God is wrong. So relying on the principles of being a self-indulgent person is wrong. Even if you're a rich person, you think a poor person is attractive. That person isn't obeying God through me. It's wrong to date him. It's wrong to marry him. You're praising the wicked when you date the wicked. You're praising the spirit of the wicked that the wicked are in when you date the wicked. And if Meroz should be cursed for not standing with the army of God, should you not be cursed for not standing with the army of God while dating someone from the army of the devil? 1 John 2:15, don't love the world, anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. But your flesh-based psychology, social norm nonsense is in you. And when God weighs your heart, that's what's in your heart. That's what's in your soul. You broke the greatest commandment, which is loving God with all your heart and all your soul and all your being. If you love God, you wouldn't date the wicked. You wouldn't shun Christ. I'm even called the bridegroom. Do you need to be tied to a chair and told this every single day before you get it? What kind of an evil heart would need that?